Hello, everyone. Welcome to Let the Lady Speak. I am your one and only host, SG. And tonight I have a co host with me. I'll introduce him soon. Tonight on Let the Lady Speak, we are going to discuss what men find attractive in women. We're going to discuss physical overall and our non negotiables. I have a wonderful guest here, Mr. Ross. And Mr. Ross, would you please introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Ross. Uh, Out here divorced. Just out here in the dating scene, trying to make it. Doing my 9 to 5, doing my real estate on the side, and um, just enjoying life and making the best of it. In this
Okay.
crazy past year and a half, 2 years. So
It has been a crazy past 2 years. How has the dating
mhm.
scene for you? How is the dating scene where you are?
I'm in the Dallas area right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, me personally, I don't do too bad.
Well, that's good.
I mean, Drew. I mean, the whole COVID thing kind of slowed things down a little bit, but I'm more quality over quantity. So.
Okay, good. Okay. Well, we're going to get started because as you know, we had a panel before where a lot of the women, I had a women's panel and they came on and they
Mhm.
talked about what they found attractive in men. You had something you want to add to it already?
No, I'm just saying, I wonder how that went. I'm going to check that out. What
Oh,
women thought.
oh yeah, I'm gonna make sure I send it to you. So that was one of the conversations we had. What do men find attractive? What do women find attractive? And so we were looking for a males panel, and you are the brave soul who decided to come on and talk about it. So I appreciate you, kind sir.
Well, I appreciate the offer. Everybody seem like I don't know if you've been following. I watch YouTube a lot,
Mm-hmm.
so it's kind of like the men. So a lot of brothers scared to speak up because they don't want to get branded, especially come on, on YouTube and be recorded and voice some of their concerns to date. So I'm not
Yeah.
scared. So yeah,
All right. Well, you
thanks
better.
for having me on.
Well, good. I'm glad you came. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Okay. You're right. There are a lot of men on YouTube though that really have a lot to say about women in dating, but that's for a whole nother that's for a whole nother show. We
You know what I'm saying? One of these branded Kevin Samuels out here.
No, we don't need Kevin. Kevin can stay right where Kevin is. Kevin and his feelings he could be right
uh,
there. Okay. No, you know, but there's a nice balance because there's RC Blake, he's really good. Tony Gaskins is really good. I like more of a fair, I like a fair conversation because there's wrong on both sides, but ultimately we all want the same thing. But there are a lot of people who are dealing with a lot of hurt and pain and they do it in their own way. And I can't judge
yeah.
that, but I just think sometimes it's a little harsh, a little one-sided, but men get it too. So,
hmm
I can't
Yeah.
say, but yeah, there's a nice balance out there. Okay, so when we
Okay.
talk about attraction, what are you physically attracted to with women?
Physically, of course, uh, pretty face, nice silhouette,
Mm-hmm.
carry herself well. So, typical man, physically, she got to be, I don't want to have just anything, on my
Yeah.
arm. So,
Mm-hmm.
nice silhouette, somebody's in shape, take care of herself, consciously aware of what she's, consuming, what she's putting in her body. So, physically fit, a
Mm-hmm.
nice silhouette, cute face. I prefer natural hair.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and, just carries herself well, physically.
Okay, good. Now, Mr. Ross,
Mhm.
you're not one of those men who say you want a lady with natural hair and then she got a weave down her back, do you?
No, everyone that I've dated seriously, she was natural hair.
Okay, that's good to hear. That's good to hear.
Hmm
Hands up for the natural women. I'm
hmm
waiting for that natural look to come back, even if it's not in its
Yeah,
curly state, but just
yeah,
for
yeah.
people to be individuals again. It's like everybody's starting to look like clones now. Everybody has the
Right.
same
Yeah.
look. I miss the
Right.
days of being an individual.
Right.
So
So
you
it's really tough.
It is. It is. It's very tough. I feel for you
Mhm.
guys. I really do. I
We
do
love the
because
natural look. We love the natural look, ladies.
y'all hear that, ladies. So bring it back. Bring back your natural look. Okay.
Right. And if you're still using that creamy crack, come on, shame on you.
Oh, you didn't call out the creamy crack community? Nah, I just
That's
walked
right.
out of it, so I can't even. I
That's for
just
another show. That's another show.
no, it's okay. My feelings are, but really, I wear my hair in a short pixie cut. And then
Oh, okay.
over the quarantine, of course, we couldn't go get it done. I started wearing braids. And just 2 weeks ago, I was like, okay, I'm going to cut off the rest of my relaxed hair. But I go,
Okay.
you know, I'm a free spirit. So whatever I'm feeling, I don't do other than braids. I don't do weaves, but I don't,
Okay.
I don't judge. But I'll put some braids in here, honey. You can't tell me nothing.
Oh
I
yeah. I
start
mean,
swinging.
we have our bad hair days. I get it. I got sisters who do all of that,
Mm-hmm.
but now they've embraced the natural look and they've grown out of that. So,
Mm-hmm. Well, it's nice to
you
hear that
know,
you embrace that, though. It's
yeah.
really nice to hear. That's refreshing. So you're gonna have the ladies on your doorstep.
I don't know about that now. It's more to that. We got the natural look, we gotta get see what's on the inside too. We gotta get to that. That's the next phase.
And that's a nice lead up because my next question is what is your overall, or what are you overall attracted to when it comes to women?
Overall, I mean, of course, physically, and then me personally, I like to somebody who's good, conversationalist, who is conscious of what's going on in the community,
Mm-hmm.
in touch with our environment. Somebody who uh, knows how to, just carry themselves and speak intelligently. She don't have to be, Einstein and like that, but I like a woman who I can speak with. We can, pretty much touch on various subjects, and she just a good conversationist. Somebody who I can, just speak on different things, and you know, just
Okay.
can, yeah, somebody who can speak and carry a conversation. Just put it like that. Have a good conversation with.
Right.
I've met some women who, don't, all they talking about is uh, Gucci, Fendi, Louis. It's all, that's superficial crap. So
Mm-hmm.
I need a
Mm-hmm.
woman who is deeper than that.
Right. A woman with substance. I don't blame you.
Exactly.
I have to have an intelligent person. I have to have someone I can carry a conversation with. And at the end of the day, all those
Mm-hmm.
things, no matter how beautiful or handsome a person is, after a while it becomes normal. Like, you see it all the time. So it's
Yeah.
normal to
Mm-hmm.
you. And if there's
Yeah.
nothing else there, and as we all know in relationships, you're gonna have good times and bad times, and you need
Right.
a little more to hold you together, right?
Right on. Right on. Right on. So yeah, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. So
Has that been the biggest challenge for you in dating? Is it finding someone with more substance?
pretty much that's the hardest part. Somebody with substance other than that superficial, that'll get you in the door, that that surface that's on the surface, but then when you start pulling back the layers, it's not much out there.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, I might be going to the wrong places. I don't know. That might be part of me because they say, you attract what you are. So I consider myself various layers. I call myself a Renaissance man sometimes because I do all kind of stuff. So I want somebody uh, who isn't scared to try different things and just experiment with all kind of stuff because that's who I am person. So this kind of I might be one of them one offs or something. So who knows?
Yeah, they say you attract who you are, but sometimes opposite attract too,
That's true. Right on.
So, maybe it's that. You never
Could be.
know.
Could
Yeah.
be.
And then sometimes it's just the type, but you don't sound
Mm-hmm.
like it doesn't seem like you go after the type that's the opposite of what you want. And I know a lot of people make that mistake when dating. They go
Mm-hmm.
after the complete opposite. Like, I want a good girl that's at home, but you go to the club. It's like, wait a minute. Not to say that the good girls don't go to the club, but you usually can tell her versus the one that's always there. It's like, oh, I want me a good
Mm-hmm.
church girl. And she's like, oh, I never go to church. That's okay.
Shoot,
You look good. Come on.
that's crazy. No, I never had luck with with meeting women. I mean, I meet women at the club, but
Mm-hmm.
that never turned out ever. So I don't really, when I go out friends to clubs and all that, and I meet people, but I never put too much effort into someone I meet at the club. So
Okay. So when you
Mm-hmm.
when you meet the ladies that you meet now, where do you normally meet them?
Just in passing, like might be at the Whole Foods or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and strike up a conversation and go from there. Gas station, just in my daily routine when I'm moving about, because I do real estate on the side, so
Mm-hmm.
uh, and I try to be involved in community events and stuff like that. And I meet people there, so.
Okay. Do you
Mm-hmm.
let now are you looking for a certain type of woman and do you let ladies know that right off the rip or do you just kind of go on a date, fill her out and go from there?
Usually I usually do like a quick meetup and maybe a happy hour or something like that, and then
Mm-hmm.
have a conversation and see if there's a mutual type of attraction first, and then that conversation piece that I speak of, see if that conversation piece is there, and then if it's not, then kind of like go our separate ways, and if we can get past that conversation piece, then maybe do something more formal as a date or something.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's nice. On the show, I talk a lot about dating, and
Mm-hmm.
there's always, so that the conversation about provider always comes
Okay.
up, and it's a sore spot
Provider.
for provider. But listen, hear me out first, because it's a sore spot, just like submission, provider. Those are like trigger words for some people.
Uh-huh.
But I
Right on.
always tell the ladies and men that when you talk about a provider, you need to say what that looks like for you, because it's not always monetary. And I think that's the
Mm.
misconception,
On whose
sometimes
part though?
on both,
Misconception on whose part?
but mainly the women, because we've been taught
Okay.
that the man, financially provides for you. But now the dynamics have changed because we have women who have their own careers and make really good money, right? And not all of them are looking for a man that can provide for them financially, but because they've switched the roles in some ways as far as giving off more masculine energy, they don't
Mm-hmm.
they don't attract a man who will want to be more of a masculine person. And I always say, you have to balance it out. You have to use your feminine energy to attract masculine energy, because a man doesn't want another man if he's heterosexual.
Right
So,
on.
hmm.
I said right on. That
So,
last part.
so when we talk about provider, like a woman like me, I'm a career woman. If I was to
Uh,
say provider, I'm not talking about money. I want to know we're going to be okay. I want to know that you're not irresponsible with the money. So you're not
mm-hmm.
gambling it away. You're not spending it on frivolous things. We're not losing our home or anything like that. But for me, what I need as a provider may be different for another woman. And I don't think people are clear as to what that means to them when they say they need a provider, what balance. Because, I know a lot of women who their man work, pay all the bills, but he's never around. So he doesn't provide you intimacy and companionship. So what do you need him to provide exactly? I think needs to be clear when
Mm-hmm.
dating. What are your thoughts on that? It's kind of off the subject, but I figure.
Yeah, I mean, because providing. I mean, you start talking about providers. I mean, you on the road to marriage and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as far as dating, concerned, of course you need to, if you seriously date, of course you need to have that conversation. But
Right.
been my experience that from the women that I've come across, when you say provider, we talking the financials.
Mm-hmm.
From my experience, and usually, most of the time, it's gonna be the man who's bearing the biggest percentage of being a provider.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's 100%. In my experience, um, I was married at one point, and I would say we had a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
So we pretty much, I paid the mortgage. She did the daily bills. Cable, electric. All that stuff. I paid the car notes and I paid the mortgage. She took care of all the groceries and stuff like that. It was a mutual partnership.
Right.
And then there's some sisters out there that don't want to have no. They want the man to be 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can take it either way, but uh, I'm gonna say this: if I'm gonna be 100%
Mm-hmm.
provider financially, that means that we're gonna have to make it on what I bring in.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing in the bacon. So this is what we're working with. So you got to make that work.
Yeah.
Now, anything above and beyond that, trips, vacations, all that kind of stuff, then, I'm going to leave that up to you. But this is what I
Mm-hmm.
bring in.
Mm-hmm.
You can be content with that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, you might need to go out there and work. Or what are you doing with your money?
Right.
You over there stacking up a nest egg and all my money is being depleted, but you stacking a nest egg because I'm doing 100%. So
Mm-hmm.
most of the time when you say provider to a man, it's usually financial.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's why I posed that question, because the question of whether or not you have these conversations. I didn't ask you. I guess I should ask, when you're dating now, currently, when you're dating, since you've been married before, are you dating just for companionship? Are you looking to get married again? Because that makes the difference, because that's when you have those kind of conversations. If I'm dating for marriage, I need to know, how you feel about those kind of topics.
Well, right now it's so crazy out here. So if I meet somebody and we have and we get past all that other stuff,
Mm-hmm.
or physical attraction, uh, you know, going in beneath the surface, and we still got a mutual interest, and then but it's hard. So I would say right now, marriage it's a possibility, but I just don't see it in the near future. It's rough
And
because
you,
you mentioned the modern day woman, and then I'm a traditional type of dude.
mm-hmm.
So I think that's when you say modern woman, and then you got a traditional type of guy like myself,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it clash because I consider myself an alpha male.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
So when
You
you
got to
say
be
you're,
in the middle ground.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, no, you my bad. I was done.
When you say you're a traditional kind of man, what do you mean exactly? Like, explain that for the ladies, because I hear ladies say they want a traditional man, and then some of the things they're explaining, I'm like, I don't know if you want to live that way, because you can't kind of, like you said, you really
You
can't
can't have it
have
both
both.
ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So to me, traditional is I'll bring home the bacon. You know what I'm saying, and it's up to the woman of the house to make it work.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not gonna try to. I mean, me personally, I like to have nice things. So that's why I have a 9 to 5 that I do. Then I also do real estate on the side,
Mm-hmm.
investments on the side. So because I know the lifestyle I want to live, but
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, traditionally, I prefer my wife not to work. But if she wants to work, that's cool. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, let's just say, for instance, if my wife worked and she make more money than me, that don't matter to me. It doesn't bother me that she make more money than me. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, I'm still the head of the house. I
Right.
don't care how much she make. I could be bringing in 50 grand. And if
Mm-hmm.
she making 100 grand, that means the family got 150.
Right.
And I'm still wearing the pants, Mr. Big Draws, because I'm
You.
gonna be the king of my house. I'm sitting in my recliner. My
Mm-hmm.
wife make 100, I make 50. I don't think she's look on me no less than because I make less than her.
And that's true. I agree with you there, Ross. Listen, the life you build together is a partnership. I
Right,
wholeheartedly agree with that. I
right.
think we just need to have more conversations, especially in our community, about it, because everyone has their misconceptions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm gonna use myself as an example, but I know other women like this too, where yeah, we make money and we are modern women, but we also have traditional values. I grew up in a church with a very southern home, a very traditional home. My grandmother's favorite line for everything is, you have to do these things so you can be a wife, right?
Right on.
I now, me personally, I am not a, I'm fine with you bringing home the bacon. I'd never believe in a person downing their mate. I feel like you guys supposed to lift each other up and support each other. I don't
Mm-hmm.
feel, when we talk about submission, I don't feel like submission is a bad thing, but you got to give something to submit to. And what exactly does submission looks like? Because it's not abuse, so we're not going to do that. Um,
Well, when you say submission, if you
mhm.
look up the word, submission only means to agree.
You're exactly.
But
I
to most
agree.
women, submission means that my man, I got my foot on your neck.
Yeah,
But when submission only means agree, that don't mean that I'm finna dominate
that's very true, but we have to agree that that's what has happened, and that's why it's such a
you.
problem. You know, the church has used it. A lot of men have used it. You got to submit to your husband, and he going upside her head, and he got 8 kids on the side by 7 different women, and the whole family down in another state because he a truck driver on the road.
Well, I bet you what. I bet he still brought. He might have 8 kids on. I bet he brought that bacon home to the main one, to the house where he laid his head at.
But
I mean, I ain't saying what he was doing was right. I ain't saying what he doing was right.
Oh, okay.
I ain't gonna throw none of my elders in my family tree under the bus. But you do ring true with that, the stuff on the side and all that. But they, for some reason, they stayed in it. My aunts, they stayed in it. We're talking 30, 40 years married. Not saying that, it's crazy.
It's true, and they did stay, but a lot of them stayed because a lot of women didn't have a choice. You really couldn't. A woman couldn't make money like that. And then some were brought up. You never leave your husband. That's what men do. They gonna cheat. You know what I mean? So there's a lot.
Well, my aunts, they all worked. Retired from General Motors. 30 years, got their pensions and all that. And they stayed in it because they old school. They was taught that once you married, that's what it is. They didn't believe in divorce. So not saying that what my people were doing, my uncle was doing, but they still married.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I grew up like that too. A lot of us did. I understand it, but I think that's where a lot of why the word has gotten a bad connotation, why everybody thinks it's terrible when you say submission. The same thing with provider. It's like you say it to some people, it's so triggering, they get so upset. And I'm like, no, you're right. It does mean to agree. And then, people throw the Bible in there, and that's fine. You could throw the Bible in there, talk about submission, but God also said for you to submit to your husband. Like, y'all two supposed to submit to each other, and he's supposed to submit to God. And, it becomes a whole different thing. So, I think just, people need to have more knowledge. So I agree with you.
Yeah, you said the key point, need to have more knowledge. And that's what they don't want. They like to dodge that knowledge.
Don't they?
Dodge that knowledge.
They dodge it like it's a bill collector coming again.
Right. Put it back in the mailbox, as Fred Several used to say. Put that bill back in the mailbox. But I mean, it's crazy. So just fast forward to today, and now we so far apart as far as men and women, and when it comes to dating and the dating scene, there's women out there, you ain't even been on your second date, and they talking about pay my bills, the man ain't paying my bill this, and paying my bill that. I'm like, yeah, you sound like I need to write you off on my taxes.
I know.
Yeah. And I only been on 2 dates. Yeah. So I mean, it's crazy. I don't know. So that's why I say I date quality over quantity. I don't try to, go out on as many dates as I can, and hopefully, grab one out of the bunch. I like to spend my time and, just, talking on the phone as much as I can, and, keying in on some key, conversation as far as, key points and any red flags. I'm ending that, what I'm saying, before I get too far in, what I mean? Because dating for a man can be expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's very true. And I'm happy you said that about, you may go, you for one, talk on the phone to kind of get rid of, to decipher whether or not there's any red flags right away. And then you keep the dates kind of simple initially. Yep. And that's good, because if she comes at you and she's like, well, no, I need to go here, and it's the most expensive restaurant, you already know to let that go, because you already know what she's about. And ladies, I'm not betraying you, but I'm just saying, because the flip side of that, like, Ross, you may be a gentleman, but there's other men that if you go on a date with him and he's spending all of this money, he's expecting something at the end of the night, and that's not something you really pay for. So it's best if you guys go and just have a drink and just have a conversation, or, coffee or something like that. That way there isn't any tension about what's owed by the end of the night when you deal with certain people. Because some men can be, now I'm out here dating too, some men can be really aggressive about a date and their money. So let's just keep it simple.
I don't know now. You had mentioned, you just said something about if they might spend a lot of money on the date, they expect them in the night. I mean, some brothers,
They
if
do.
they really got a good, if they got a real vibe, they got a real good vibe about this woman, they might go all out. I've been there, I had a good vibe about it,
Mm-hmm.
long as you
Mm-hmm.
really had a good connection, and I might, go and do a little bit extra. And sometimes it worked for me, sometimes it didn't. I
And
mean,
that's
I might have got, sometimes you might get lucky now. You might get lucky, luck
mm-hmm.
might be a lady that night. But but for the most part, I don't, I do stuff unconditionally. I don't expect nothing in return because I'm gonna have a good time too. I
Mm-hmm.
just don't do it as much anymore, as far as, because once again, I ain't trying to give all my life savings to Papa Do's, Ruth Chris, Morton Steakhouse, and all that crap. So
Right.
I'm more selective now and more frugal when it comes to dating initially.
Exactly.
Initially.
And that's my point. And there isn't anything wrong with that. There really isn't. I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't think there are men. Now, don't get me wrong. I've had both. I've had great dates
Mm-hmm.
and nice places. That was his vibe, because it was his thing. It wasn't anything I forced, is basically what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say. Because I love
Yeah.
nice things and I take myself to
I
nice
do too.
dinners,
Right.
so
Right on.
it's okay. I feel like it's a great idea, but do what you're comfortable with. I think the point is
Right.
just do what you're comfortable with. But there are men who expect something. So some women are a little more lenient. That's where this whole Dutch thing came in at, a lot of people are like, well, I do Dutch,
Shit.
so I don't have to worry about it. I'm
I ain't
no,
never, I ain't never, I wouldn't even get a date if I was talking about some Dutch.
I'm
Yeah,
not
hang
doing a
up on me
Dutch
so
date.
quick.
You hear what I'm saying?
And that's what I said. What kind of shoot? What brother? I was finna say I ain't never met a woman in there. I'm trying to talk about dating, talking about Dutch. She probably wouldn't hung up on my ass.
There's
Excuse me. Shoot,
there
what's
are
this
some
Dutch
women who
talking?
do
Dutch.
Dutch though. There's some
Where she
women.
at? Give me her number now. Put that number down in the description below. I'm gonna
You just
call her.
said you was. You just said you was
Shoot.
traditional. You're not gonna want that woman to do Dutch with
I
you.
know, but I'm just saying, shoot, hey, maybe I need to change up because what I'm doing not working.
It's not working for you. You gotta try
Right.
something else.
I need to be more modern. Get
Heard
out of that
that.
traditional business because we in 2021 going into 2022, so I need to switch it up. Be more modern now. One of these modern brothers.
It's gonna be a new you for the new year, huh?
It must be. I got to be. I got to do something because I'm in the middle of the road now. I ain't trying
Mm-hmm.
to, have a dog and die alone, as Kevin Samuels would say.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna leave Kevin right where
Yeah,
he
I'm
is.
just saying. I ain't trying
I'm
to be a
teasing you.
spokesperson, but I mean, I just find that funny. Anyway, go
Mm-hmm.
ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm teasing you. I'm teasing you. Everybody talks. I just talked to somebody the other day and she was talking about Kevin saying there's mixed views. Sometimes he actually has good advice. His delivery is poor, but sometimes he actually
Oh yeah,
has because he calls out men and women. He just gets more recognition for calling out women. I just think sometimes he's disrespectful. I'm not even gonna say a little. He's disrespectful and it's uncalled for. So that's my issue with him. But sometimes he's telling the truth. But sometimes the expectation is, a little too high on both ends. And I've heard him call some men out big time. So
okay.
um, so when you talk about non-negotiables, what is your absolute non-negotiable when you're dating a lady?
Walking billboard for designer shit.
Okay.
Because that sends me a message that she put that above all else.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, non-negotiable with somebody who with bad hygiene.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, non-negotiable for me is somebody who can't put two sentences together when non-negotiable being somebody who's not conscious aware what's going on around us in the community and
Mm-hmm.
especially the Black community, because I think we should all be in touch with that.
I agree.
Somebody who is selfish,
Mm-hmm.
non-negotiable, because I don't have a problem getting up that last piece of cake or that last chicken wing flat. I don't mind getting up that last chicken wing, you know what I mean? Go ahead and take that.
Okay.
So just somebody who just all about them. You know, they don't consider, you know what I'm saying, what they dealing with on the other side. Because you never know what somebody's dealing with. And for them to even, you know, appreciate or even, you know, invite you into their world and you're not appreciative of somebody else's time. And that's another thing. Uh inconsiderate.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say inconsiderate because, you know, I can, you know, money, I can get that. That ain't no big deal. You know what I mean? But I can't get my time back. So to me, if you wasting my time and you just out on a foodie call, if you will, and are you familiar with the foodie call terminology?
I am familiar with it.
Okay, because a lot of
That's,
women like, they don't know what foodie call means.
they know what it means. They just
They know what it means. They don't want to admit to it. That's what it is.
I've been
But when I
young
say
before. I
time,
used to do that in my 20s. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm just gonna go. It's gonna be a free dinner. Let me just go see
yeah, you
what
don't
this
have
is
no
about.
interest in the brother. You just gonna get a free dinner. The only time you even accept a brother's invite is when he talking about paying for dinner. But you don't have no type of romantic interest or even no. Come on, y'all need to stop that now. Stop wasting people's time.
Yeah,
But
I've been
when I
there,
say
but go ahead.
there's some women that's in the middle of the road, 35 and up, that's still doing that.
Yeah, you don't need to do that anymore. You don't need to do
Cut
that
that out.
anymore.
Y'all making money, shit, go on and spend that money. Yeah. Buy your own dinner.
That's
But
right.
don't waste somebody else's time. If you don't have no interest in the brother, just leave him alone.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what I can say is, as far as, you know, for me, my if you really want to piss me off, you waste my time or play my intelligence. When it comes to time, I try to be. I'm ex-military. I used to be in the military, and you know, of course, military is big on time, and that's something I've incorporated into my daily life. Is when I say I'm gonna be somewhere, I try to be there 5 minutes before. And if I'm gonna be late, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna let you know I'm gonna be late, maybe 15 before we agreed to be somewhere. I've been on dates, women come in there 30 minutes, 40 minutes late. And then they come in and they like they doing me a favor by just showing up.
Yeah.
And they be like, well, I'm just gonna let you know right now. Uh, I'm gonna be late. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna have this drink and see you when I see you. Nice meeting
Right.
you. Because
Right.
I'm not gonna deal with somebody who's not considerate of my time. Because I feel like that's the biggest form of disrespect when you misuse somebody else's time.
It's a sign of immaturity too.
Yeah.
Because if you are a person and you have your own business, you recognize how important
Right.
a person's time is. And
Right.
time is
You can't get it
money.
back.
You can't get it
That's
back.
right.
Yeah, that's the most
I get
expensive
the money.
commodity you have. Yeah, yeah, I'm with you on that. Don't wait.
Mm-hmm.
You do good because I'm not waiting. Okay,
I
unless
mean,
it's something
I'm
really.
at the bar, I'm taking drinks, I'm drinking, what I'm
Oh yeah.
saying? And hopefully I try to be somewhere where, there's people around and, it's a little, it's popping a little bit. So I'm a conversational. You put me in a room with 100 people, I don't know, I'm gonna come out knowing at least 3 or 4, 5 people.
I know
Because that's
that's
just who
right.
I am as a person. I'm not scared of rejection. Hey, have a good evening, keep it moving. But so I'm gonna enjoy myself regardless. But come on now, be considerate. I mean, we all grown here. Be
Yeah.
considerate somebody else's time. At least pick up the phone and say, "Yo, I'm running late. My apologies. Don't come in on some." Well, I'm just gonna let you know right now. That's just me. I'm gonna be late.
You like,
Who
and
does
that
that? Come
that's
on
just
now.
fine. And that's rude. That's rude. I agree. That's out of
You doing
pocket.
me a favor by being there. Okay. I'm gonna do you a favor by losing your number.
How about that? Okay.
That don't work for me. So
What advice do you have for ladies um dating nowadays? What would you tell them?
my advice to women that are dating, I would say you're gonna have to be open-minded. I mean, once again, everybody not playing in the NBA, everybody not making 100,000 plus a year. A lot of these brothers out here, are single, and they also are looking for a good woman. So sometimes, I'm not gonna say I hate the word date down. I don't want to say date down. I'm gonna say just find somebody that you have a great vibe with. I think we get caught up on the financials too much. I ain't gonna say don't, date the brother who's sitting on his ass and not doing nothing. But the brother out here is trying, working and being responsible out here in the community. I think we need to give more of those brothers a shot. Because everybody wants that brother making 100 plus. And it's just not enough of those brothers going around. So I think there's a big misconception about financials when it comes to men. And it seems like to me, all these women are looking for those brothers that's making that, and that's not what it is. I think we need to really be realistic in what we're looking for. We need to be more realistic in what we're looking for, and I think we need to not date down, but just see the individual. And then once you start pulling back the layers, if it's, I ain't saying go out here and get yourself in a toxic relationship or nothing like that, but some of these brothers really out here, what I'm saying, being responsible, going to work, doing their 9 to 5, that means they're making 50 grand. That means they're making 50 grand because once again, it's a partnership. So, right. And then those brothers won't get a shot. They can't get a shot. So we need to be more realistic in our expectations as far as what we're looking for.
I agree. I feel like that goes both ways. Do you have any advice for the men that are out here dating? Because it's a men on some bull crap. It's a man.
What you mean?
I'm a nurse. And the first thing is no, it's the truth. I have a man. First thing he said, well, what you do? Oh, you can take care of me. I had one guy tell me, oh, I came up with you. No, you didn't. Because you know what? This conversation is about to end right here today. This is going to be our second and last date. So we get
maybe
that
he was
too.
Just joking around. Maybe he was.
No, he was serious.
Was he serious?
He was serious. He was serious. He was serious. And even if he was serious, and even if he wasn't, the fact that you thought to say something like that, because that ain't really how you joke. You gonna say you coming up on a woman? That's how we joking? Because if I was to say that to you, then it'd be like, oh, she just want me for my money. Because he was doing good for us.
Was this y'all first date?
It was our second date.
Okay.
It was our second date. I done had a lot of married men taking pictures, and they got girl stuff all around them. Talking about, I just like Bed Bath and Beyond. No, you don't. You don't like body work products. Why you got all these body work products in this bathroom and you sending me pictures? Why are you sending me pictures? I didn't ask you for a picture. There's a lot of men who are married in situationships, living with somebody, but they not together.
That go both ways now.
It does.
Met a lot of married women who be, man, they worse than some of these single chicks.
That's true. That's true.
That's real talk.
It is. That's true. I'm not gonna deny it. I've seen that too. So I just really wish, like you said, we didn't have these unrealistic expectations, because there's some guys who grew up with a mom who did everything, and they really feel like that's what the woman is supposed to do. If I'm working 40 hours a week, I'm not doing all the cooking and all the cleaning and all the ironing.
I wouldn't expect you to. A real brother wouldn't expect you to.
That's true, but there are
real
some
brother
men
know what you're dealing with.
That's true, but there's some men out here who do.
Well, then you need to go on and X him out the picture.
Well, yeah,
you need to see that sign. Right.
Oh, you don't have to
pay enough attention to the red flags.
Exactly.
I think on both sides.
Exactly.
When you start seeing the red flags and them things that this drop dead that you won't tolerate. I mean, a real brother, if you in a relationship now, a real brother to me, we're gonna recognize that, what I'm saying, that my woman is, putting in all these hours. So, we got to take, share in, being domestic around the house. That means if I got to cook tonight, it might not be not be no Papa Do's or nothing like that. But what I'm saying, hey, I'm gonna give it a try. I know how to read, so I can get me a, go online or whatever, find a recipe. I know how to read and put it together like that. But I agree with you on that, because my mother was raised 4 kids, and she was a registered nurse, and a lot of times there wasn't no cooking going on at the house. But my sisters, they did what they supposed to do, and I picked up on some of that. But you brothers out there, don't be scared to go in that kitchen and help out, bro.
Yeah.
And wash the dishes, clothes. I'll do all that. I got a problem with folding clothes, but I'll wash them.
That's all right. Listen,
But
it's
yeah,
all about
brother need to
no,
brothers
it's
need to
all
do more
about
around the house.
partnership. No, I
Yeah, that's
agree.
partnership.
That's
It ain't all just
partnership.
financial. If you
Mm-hmm.
ain't making more than her, then goddamn, boy, help around the crib. You ain't
Mm-hmm.
got to be less of a man if you help around the crib.
You tell
I
them,
know I
Ross.
do.
That's good though.
Yeah.
Now, do you
That's
grill?
man, that's real talk. You're gonna
It
do
is real
100% of the
talk.
time by yourself anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I don't like living in no chaos. I'm single, you know what I'm saying? Just me and my son here.
Mm-hmm.
So, I got to cook. I don't eat out all the time, you know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
if I got a woman here, you know what I'm saying, and she working a lot, I don't have a problem with helping out. I don't think I'm less of a man for doing that either.
And
So
that's what shows you a real man. Man, that's what it's all about. You can't feel like if you help around, quote unquote, help around the house, because it's not even helping around the house. Y'all live in the house together.
yeah,
It's
we
your
live in the house
home.
together.
You want
Yeah.
a clean home. You want food. You want clothes
Mm-hmm.
washed, things like that.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
about a
that's crazy.
partnership. Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I don't know where people get these ideals from and why they still holding on to some of them to the extent that they are. But we got to do better. Our community has to do better. And that's one of the things I promote on a podcast because I see it's like so divided. It's like, why are we so divided? It's like men against the women in our community.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to do better because without our family structure, we can't have a community. And without community, we really can't succeed. We don't have a chance in this world. So we have to do
Well,
better.
I believe we've been. I'm not gonna say women, but I believe we've been paying too much to the media and all
Mm-hmm.
this, and somewhere we lost it because in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, we stayed together. Then somewhere around the 70s time frame, I don't know what happened, but it's we. I mean,
Raw.
it's like it's been a tug of war, and as the years went on, the farther and farther apart we've come.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to see that. I'm not saying that everything our elders did was right, but somehow they managed to stay together. They've had they peaches and cream, if you will, and
Mm-hmm.
they also had a rough end of the stick, but they made it. You know what I mean?
And
They
that's
made it
true.
through 30, 40, 40, 50 years, and it was peaks and valleys, but they stayed together. They didn't run for the hills with the first sign of trouble.
And that's
And a
true.
lot of us are track stars. A lot of us are track stars. How that song go? All these track stars out here.
I'm a runner. I'm a track star.
I'm a track star. Shoot, first sign of trouble, they out of there. Shoot,
Right.
he's talking about paying half the bills. Oh, I'm gone.
I gotta go. Yeah. And that's true. And you know what? And I believe that when you decide to be in a relationship, you have to wake up saying that we're gonna do this, and I
If
don't
they
think
serious,
yeah, you have to say, I choose you today. I may not like you today. You may be on my last nerve, but I'm choosing you and I'm choosing to stay. And I think that's where a lot of, like you said, that has fallen apart. But there's so many factors that goes into that. We could
yeah,
talk about the
it's a lot
welfare
of variables.
system. We could talk about the crack system, the crack era. All of
Oh
those
yeah,
things kind of like
man, that
tore.
ran through us hard. Yeah, we was heavily
Oh,
affected by it. Right on, right on. See, but that tells me you conscious about the black community because you mentioned all that. You know
mm-hmm,
what I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
the crack era and all that, which really ran through the black community, devastated the black community and the family. So most sisters don't, when I said they got them layers, the
mm-hmm,
conversation piece,
mm-hmm.
and you just hit on the key area that crack area. A lot of them don't even talk about that. When I don't know your age, but I'm 51.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember them days. I came up in that crack era. And
Me
a lot of people didn't
too.
make it out, but I'm conscious of the fact that, that did damage.
It did a
A
lot of
lot of damage.
damage. No,
Mm-hmm.
I'll turn 45 next month. And I
Okay.
watched the neighborhood that I grew up in. I watched it be one of the most influential black neighborhoods to be in one of the roughest black
You
neighborhoods
in
in my
you in
town.
Detroit? You in
I'm in
Detroit, right?
Detroit, but I'm originally from Cleveland. I'm a Buckeye girl.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cleveland, nice city, nice city.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
I used to live in Pontiac. I used to live in Pontiac for a while.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I went to graduate from Open University.
Okay.
And yeah, but I'm really from Dallas. And when I graduated, my ex-wife is from that area,
Mm-hmm.
and I decided to move back to Dallas in 2012. So, but yeah, I'm
Okay.
familiar with Detroit, that area. So used to hang out at Floods, Greektown, all that.
Yeah. They are back open. I don't know. I don't hang out as much anymore, but I've been told I
Yeah,
need to get
yeah.
out more often. We'll
Get out
see.
where? And when they say
That
get out, that don't mean necessarily go to Floods.
Well, I like to do other things. I just haven't really
uh,
done them here. I think I just really want to travel more. I love the
okay,
museum. I love
okay.
arts, period. I love the arts. So anything, plays, dance, things like that, that's my thing.
There you go. Yeah, I'm
But
in
I
all that.
yeah, so I haven't really done that here in a long time. I actually moved here in 2012, but I was working as a travel nurse. So
From Cleveland?
actually, I'm sorry. I moved here in 2007. I don't want to tell
Oh,
that
okay.
story. I started another job in 2012. No,
Oh, okay.
came from Arizona. I was working as a travel nurse.
Oh, okay.
And then I came
So
here
you
and
ain't
I've
had
been
no
here ever
time and no
since.
day nowhere. You all over the place.
I do have time for that. I am all, you know what? My job
And a
kept me,
travel nurse.
I no
You're
longer
a travel
travel.
nurse.
Yeah, I no longer travel. I haven't traveled in a long time, but I was going to travel this past pandemic though. I was ready. I got my
Uh
bags packed over there. I got my
huh.
paperwork ready. I was waiting on that phone
Okay.
call. I still could
Mhm.
go, but I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna
Let-
refocus myself.
Now let me ask you this. You mentioned, what do you think about the sisters who, in the early 20s, they just, they getting it in, you know what I'm saying? They doing their thing. And then before you know it, they 35.
What do you mean getting in? You talking about dating a lot?
I
Or
mean, they just, they doing them. They're not really, focused on, lasting relationship. They just,
mm-hmm,
they enjoy being, independent, if you will, and just dating and having fun. And
mm-hmm,
before you know it, they're 35, and now they want to be serious now and find somebody they can have something fruitful with, and eventually try to get married and maybe have a kid if they haven't had any before then. What's your thoughts on that? Because a lot of sisters, you know what I'm saying, they not taking it serious. They just,
mm-hmm.
enjoying life. And then before you know it, they wake up and they 30 in their mid 30s, and now they want to take dating seriously.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on
Honestly,
that?
I honestly think it's a good thing if she's taking the time to get to know herself and develop herself.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay.
it's kind of hard to take dating seriously in your 20s because our men don't take dating seriously at that age either. And then how many people got
True.
married younger and then they go through their whole crisis because they've never done anything. So they decide to do it once they're married. And you two have to
True.
live through that crisis together. So I think there's good and bad in both because it isn't like before where you had to hurry up and get married and have kids,
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe
because
that's something that maybe that's the problem. Because
hmm,
now, if when we talk about the past generation, they got married young.
they did. My grandmother was married
They
at
got married.
14.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
My mother got married, I think, right out of high school. She was married.
Mm-hmm. So
So,
I
but now fast forward to today, everybody, we done blew 10, 20 years.
mm-hmm.
Now we, 35, 36, we done said it, we set in our ways, quote unquote. And to men and women are like this, we so far apart from each other
Right.
because, we all finding ourselves, and we done, picked up on all these bad habits on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like we don't have no happy medium, or we don't want to come together and be submissive or
Right.
agree, ladies and gentlemen. Agree.
We
Excuse
don't.
me. Don't say
I
submissive.
like
I'm just
that.
gonna
I
say
like
agree.
that. I'm gonna borrow that from you just so you know. If you listen to any of the future podcasts, you're gonna know I'm gonna say agree instead of
It's
submission.
all good.
I just I just did a podcast on submission too. But
Oh, this okay.
and that's what I talked about. That it's not what people think it is, and it shouldn't be so triggering. It's
Mhm.
because it's really about two people
Right.
coming together, choosing each other and loving each other. It's not about
Right on. Right.
abuse, or
Right.
authority.
Yeah.
But it's been
Mm-hmm.
abused. It's been weaponized. It really has. I grew up
Yeah.
around a lot of old Southern people, and I've seen a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things. I
Yeah.
shouldn't keep saying Southern because I didn't grow up in the
Oh
South,
no.
but my family was from the
Right.
South. So, and the people I
Mm-hmm.
knew in the church were from the South.
Right
Um,
on.
I think there's some people have like an old tradition that they want to hold on to, and then the way the world has evolved, and I think we just haven't found a way to bring that together is where the problem is, because even though you said you were a very traditional man, right? You're gonna bring home bacon and you rather your wife not cook, but then you also said, well, if my wife is working, then I'm gonna help out around the house. But somebody could
but
automatically,
that's me evolving. That's me evolving.
exactly, you have
You got to,
evolved, but there's a lot of
I'm
people who
taking
haven't.
I'm taking some of the things from the past, and I'm trying to, put it in the pot and mix it up and, and use it in today's time. So, I mean, yeah, traditional, but at the same time, you have to evolve. I mean, you
Exactly.
can't be stuck. You know what I'm saying? You have to be open-minded. You got to be willing to to change with the times. And not say you're gonna leave everything from the past in the past, but some of them things in the past did work. And you got to try to incorporate that in today's time.
Exactly. And that's it. That's what I'm saying. And a lot of people haven't done that. A lot of people are kind of like, they're either extremely one way or the extreme the other. There's like no meeting in the middle.
Well, then you don't need to waste your time.
You don't.
And that's men or women.
And that's true. I think two people really,
Don't
really need to know what they want. I think that's the
a
bottom
lot of
line.
people don't want to. A lot of people don't want to say what they want right initially.
Repeat
A lot
what
of
you
people
said,
don't even
Mr.
want to be honest about what they want.
And that's true.
A
Because some
lot of
people
people don't
really
want to be
don't want.
honest about what they want. If I
Mm-hmm.
just want to have sex with you, I ain't gonna just say I just want to have sex with you. What's up? You know what I'm saying? Or I just want your money. What's up? You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna
Right.
say that. They
That's
gonna put
true.
on a face. They gonna put on their face. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they gonna try to present that, but eventually, if you conversate, all that shit fall apart.
That's true.
If you really conversate and what I'm saying, look
Mm-hmm.
past the superficial stuff and talk to them, all that stuff comes out
Mm-hmm.
on the
Mm-hmm.
male and the female side. But a lot of times people just ignore all that and then keep on blowing time, and before you know it, you done wasted three months. You know what I'm saying? 4 months, and then
Mm-hmm.
that real person comes out that was underneath.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now you like, dang.
Yeah.
So, but then again, I don't know everything. I'm just saying from my experience, there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
brothers, and women. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we all got to be conscious of that. You can't fit a square peg in a round hole, and
You
I've
sure
never seen
can.
it work. And some people try to do it, no matter what, they still try to do it.
That is true. That's
So,
true. And again, you got to be honest with yourself if you can be honest with anybody else.
yeah,
And I
just be
know you
honest
were
with
saying
yourself.
early,
No, I was agreeing with you.
and I know
Sorry.
you were saying earlier that you know, some people won't say they just want money or they just want sex. I think in this day and age, I think now you can really have that conversation because things have changed. It
Mm-hmm.
used to be you had to be super modest. That's not really the case anymore. Just I say it's the old saying goes, it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it.
How you say it.
Yeah, but a lot of people manipulate people into thinking that they're trying, like you said, they're wearing a mask, and they
Mm-hmm.
manipulate people into a situation when that really wasn't their intention. And then you do more harm than good because now this person trusted you, they went along with it, you flipped on them, and now they have to deal with the aftermath of that. You know what I mean? When it was like, this is all
Right.
you wanted. You were never serious. You knew you were still on the break from your wife and you wanted to go back home, but she wouldn't let you home for a minute. You know what I mean? Like, or same with the women, because like you said earlier, women do it too. You really don't
Oh
want to
yeah.
leave your husband. He probably is the best financial
We
provider.
just
You just
roommates. We just roommates.
mm-hmm. Listen, y'all.
Man,
When
get
people
on out
start
of here.
telling y'all that they roommates, don't believe that.
Man, get
Don't
on
believe
out of
it.
here with that.
Don't believe it. Even anybody
Yeah,
will
but
leave. Hmm.
you got to use your intuition. Men have intuition too.
Yes, you do.
And don't ignore it. Just I ain't saying that it's always gonna be right, but pay attention to it at least.
Hmm.
And then if you still having that same intuition, like something just don't feel right, me personally, I separate myself from it because if I get a bad feeling and this don't add up, this don't make no sense, and
Hmm.
I'm always feeling like that when I'm talking to somebody, then chances are then they on some bullshit. So I usually separate myself from that. I'm not gonna waste your time because once again, I'm in the middle of the road, so I don't have a lot of time to waste. You know what I mean? So I do my due diligence. I really listen. I'm very observant. I listen, and if it don't make sense, if it ain't adding up making sense, then chances are it's some bullshit. So
Absolutely. You gonna call boy? I call BS.
all right. I'm sorry for cussing on your show,
You can
ladies. I hope I'm
cuss.
not
It's okay. I cuss on here too. I'm
oh,
just
do
trying
you?
not
Okay.
to. I do. I do.
Yeah.
I'm not a
You got it.
sailor
Yeah.
on the show, but I
Right.
do. I'm trying to stop.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I need to work on my
Mm,
cussing,
no, thank you.
but
I
I'm
appreciate
trying.
that, but no, it's okay.
Charge it to my head, not my heart.
Absolutely. See, I say that. Okay, I got it. I understand.
hmm
No,
hmm
but you were feeling what you were saying, and it was from an authentic place. No problem. Thank you
hmm
for being mindful though. Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Ross, for coming on tonight. I thoroughly enjoyed our conversation. Can't wait to have you back on the show. Maybe we can get some more gentlemen to come back
Yeah.
and talk to us as well. But it's been great.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Mm.
appreciate having me on there. I wish more brothers been on the panel, but definitely it was a good conversation, and wish everybody luck and grace and out there in that dating scene. Be kind.
That's right. That's right. I
hmm
agree. You're welcome and thank you again. So, everyone, make sure you check me out look up Let the Lady Speak. I am on all podcast platforms. I am also on YouTube now, so you can see this video on YouTube. I upload every Wednesday. And if you have any questions that you would like to ask me, please email lettheladyspeak.com@gmail.com, or you can go to my IG. There's a link in my description box that will lead you to my message page, and you can leave me a voicemail. If you would like your voicemail played on the show, please let me know and I will do so. I thank you very much. I wish you all well. Like Mr. Ross said, out here in this dating field, be kind, be loving, and be respectful. Love you for who you are. Thank you for letting me speak. Have a great night. Bye bye.
Peace.